Hello guys and welcome back to another replay analysis. I have a higher level replay for you guys today, a little bit of a closer rank to SSL, very close to SSL, and this player usually does get to that rank towards the end of the season. He says this time he wants to get a little bit earlier on and push for that higher MR. So I wanted to do a higher rank replay because anyone that's watching this, low rank, medium rank, high rank, or close to this rank at least, can learn from it. Everyone can pick up on a few things. You might not be able to replicate some of the mechanics that this player or certain players in this lobby are pulling off in this game, but that's not what we're learning about mostly, okay? We're going to help you along the way to learn a couple of the points that this player is good at, and of course, we'll point out a lot of the negatives that this player does, which every player does, okay, to improve on themselves. So let's get straight into this one. This player is... Like I said, he usually gets to SSL. This is around 1750 MMR. And some of his negatives that he kind of pointed out to me was he feels like his positioning is never the best. His challenges have always been tough for him, when to challenge and things like that. And boost management can be off, not collecting the right pad lines, which is a massive thing that anyone watching again can learn from and will see immediate benefits. So we'll go into that quite a lot. And the good points of his game, he feels like, are his mechanics are up to par mostly. And he feels like he can take the time on the ball when necessary. So important things there. Really, really quickly, higher level players, they tend to be more self-critical about themselves. Maybe I'm diving too deep into this one message he sent me, but he gave more negative points about himself than positive ones. Just thought that was interesting because you do have to be self-critical. I like it, but always reinforce the positive things about yourself, else we forget them. It's easy to forget. Really quickly, before we get into this video, we have a nice little pen I can use now. So we can draw smiley faces, we can draw some arrows, which might be more applicable, but yeah, cool stuff. Okay, let's get straight into it. If I remember to use that pen, I will. But I'm not used to it, so bear with me for this video, getting used to it, and we'll be all right. Okay, instantly, good speed flip. The kickoff, poor though. Okay, the reason this didn't work is because we're front flipping through the ball, or we're using a flip that's more towards the the front of our left analog stick. Okay, so it might not be an exact front flip. Looks like it's kind of a diagonal one here, just a very, very slight diagonal, but it's more steering towards that front section. It's not what we want to do on kickoffs mostly, okay, especially at higher rank, because we turn in instantly after we land from our flip. It's not making the kickoff as efficient and as smooth as it could be, in my opinion. You want to land from your flip and drive in a straight line for just a brief second. Not even a second, definitely not a second, that's way too long, but a tenth of a second, driving in a straight line and then making contact more on this side of the ball, a little bit more towards the side on either angle here or either side, and then touching it through the ball, okay, flipping with a kind of a side diagonal flip, not a front flip or diagonal flip through the middle of the ball. You want to be on the side brushing across, okay? That will get you the best kickoff. Simple as that. That's the main points that makes you win the kickoff or not, okay? Because we front flip or we kind of diagonal flip through the center of the ball, we're getting one touch, and even if we are getting one, a couple touches with a front flip through the center of the ball, we're allowing our opponent to diagonal flip, which is just changing the direction. They're going to have kind of control over that kickoff. At least that's how I see it. And yeah, that usually is what I focus on. Nice little new update to the game. We can see boost amounts on the other players. So shout out Rock League. I enjoyed that update. Okay. This player said positioning and challenges were a poor part of his game that he felt like. This is one instance where it could definitely be better, all right? So in this position, we have our teammate coming back, okay? We can see that he's flipping back. He's crossing the midfield line in around about now, okay? He's just crossed that midfield line most likely. Sorry, a bit early, but there. And then he's going to go behind us, okay? So we know that we're in an advantageous position because our teammate is behind us, whereas the opponent's teammate, he's not the closest. He can't follow up this 50, for example, as well as our teammate can. Because this ball will most likely go behind us, our teammate's going to be closer. It's going to be much of an easier follow, okay? So in a position like this, we don't have to worry about defending the net. That's my whole point. We don't have to worry about defending the net, on this flip, okay? This is a very high-level mechanic this player does. He musty flicks out of the backboard into a control touch, into a reset, he gets the reset in a way that he can just instantly musty again if he goes underneath this ball. So a certain player, you might be worried about them flicking it on target. Because we have a teammate behind us, we don't have to. So I propose you to take a wide angle on balls like this, okay? Whenever you notice a player coming from the backboard in positions like this, which do happen a lot at this rank, and you're just they're moving slowly, you're underneath them, take a wide approach if you want to challenge the ball forward facing. Make sure you take a wide approach and you can actually get some momentum to go onto the ball, okay? Because we just turn and we kill all of our momentum, it's very hard to get power. It's actually also difficult to line up our car correctly. And because of that, you'll see, you just hit it with the side of your car. It's not a fantastic touch. You get the ball off him, and our teammate does get onto it first. Fantastic, but it could have been better, okay? Once you get, at a higher level of doing things like this, depending on your boost amount, and of course, in certain positions, you don't want to do this. But in positions like this, you can actually carry this into an air dribble. So double jumping on a touch like this instead of flipping, if you get instantly perfectly behind the ball, you'll be able to carry that into an air dribble. So that is a thing you want to be working on, especially all the high ranked players, kind of GC level and above, carrying balls like this from the ground into an air dribble, or not even an air dribble, just one touch into the air and following up for another touch, okay? Just an extra touch on the ball is going to be your best bet. And you can get these plays when the player isn't perfectly behind the ball. So when they've done plays like this, where they're landing on the underneath part of the ball with their flip like this, they're not going to be perfectly behind it. Chances are they're going to be underneath it slightly. They can't get a great 50. They can't even get a touch half time. And that makes the high option, going over them with a double jump into an air dribble setup, your best bet. Okay? Simple as that. So take wide approaches on balls like that. And that's actually a general tip. When you guys do have time on your challenges, most of the time you do want to take wide approaches. It lets you get momentum into the play. It lets you get a better vision and a better angle most of the time. Okay, simple as that. Right, so our teammate did score. Nice. If we want to cheat in this game, you just flip. Just flip. Don't use all your boosts like this, because you've just used... How much boost did you just use? We would have been on 5. We just used 28 boost, okay? Or something like that, right? Yeah, 28 boost. We picked up 12, and that puts us on 17, okay? But we've just wasted all that. We could have just flipped, and we would have been in the same spot. Actually, probably a better spot with more boost, okay? Pinch the ball out, that's fine. Let's see what we do to follow it up. We're just pressuring the ball, that's completely fine. Go for boost, bit risky, leaving our teammate in a 1v1 like this, where the opponent can attack before we're back. You don't want to do that. I would just leave. Track. You want to be tracking the ball in this position, okay? So when you're on low boost, guys, of course, this boost pad is very shiny. It's very nice. You want to go there. You mostly want to just follow the play and just go for bumps, I'd say, when you're on low boost in positions like this. Because you're already naturally rotating back through pads, you can just get in the way of your opponent and try and bump them, okay? And that's what I do here. I'd follow the play. I'd make sure I'm looking at where this guy's going to touch the ball, trying to get there preemptively. Okay, so moving to the spot where the ball I think is most likely to go, and just try and get a bump through this player. Because if you just get a bump on them, we're not going to score off it, but we're going to get possession, all right? And that's going to be very helpful to our team in this position. We do miss the boost as well, which isn't fantastic. Our teammate does a nice floating challenge, and we get a touch out to help him out. Okay, fine. We don't do the greatest play, coming back, but we made up for it, and our teammate did a good job as well, okay? Good positioning, constantly rotating kind of in and out, depending on, how the play is going, guys. A lot of you will just, kind of creep up in this position and then just stop abruptly and then realize that you actually have to go all the way back and then try and creep up again, stop abruptly. This player kind of keeps his momentum going very, very well. Can't find him. There we go. And, depending on when he needs to go, he just carries on moving in and out, keeping a good space in from between him and his teammate, which is a massively positive thing that, again, everyone can learn from. This touch definitely isn't clean. Never want to pop the ball up in this situation. We just simply want to kill it. Okay, so I don't know. That's just a mechanics thing. You know how to kill the ball in that position. Just do it. I don't know if you meant to pop the ball, but we do kind of concede because of it. Okay. Another play we can do is touching it towards the mid boost. The issue at this rank is that players do expect stuff like that. You'll already see this player here. He's turning. Okay, he's expecting a touch to go in this direction, so he's already boosting in that spot. All right, so he might be there to to beat you to that mid boost, which could be risky. You want to just, most of the time, I would say, either try and catch the ball without bounce, okay? You don't have to have it on the top of your car. You just want to kill the bounce and then get behind it or beside it, try and shoot or take a 50. Or you try and hit it with a flip, getting more power on this touch, following the ball with your momentum from your flip, and you'll be able to go again, okay? Touching the ball up like that, unnecessary, especially when your teammate isn't back, and we're just going to give an opportunity for a counterattack. Okay. It's an okay kickoff. We have a massive issue with missing boosts right now. No point going into it because, you know, it's just a thing that sometimes happens, but just make sure we're getting the boosts. Okay. Yeah, this is okay. We do get beat, but yeah, this is it's just slightly slow. It's just slightly slow. At the same time, you don't want to always rush in this position because you will just give the ball away, okay? So if you can just get slightly better at reading bounce like this and going with speed, but also being able to get a fairly controlled touch, that's going to be your best course of action here. But that's what you're trying to do. So it's not the worst thing in the world. We don't speak about it too much because it's just simply, you know, being slightly slower in that position. But the idea is fine. You don't just rush it, which a lot of players would maybe propose you do in that position to get it around the player. Not necessarily the best thing, okay? Great stuff. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. We, you know, follow the play where it's going. Our teammate gets a touch. We're just here. We're just here to block the dribble. And that's what this player is doing, okay? If this player dribbles on the other team, then we're just going to be blocking that. All right? Which I like. We don't have to dive. Our teammate has the backboard covered. We're not even... Guys, notice how he's not even worried. And I understand. You can't always trust your teammate. I think I had a comment saying, a massive thing that a lot of high-level players miss out on a lot is that players at lower ranks, they can't just always trust their teammate. I completely agree with you. However, and you're not going to like what I say, but I'm going to stick to it. And I always have. Your teammates are genuinely better than you think most of the time in this game, okay? Because I know the general thing in Rocket League is to blame your teammates, and I hate it. Because of course there's always, things they could have done better, but there's always things we could do. I think it's a terrible mentality. Our teammates aren't as bad as we think. They can get touches like this across a lot of the time. And I'm not saying to trust your teammate blindly in every position, but in positions like that where they do have an easy touch, just trust them. Else you are going to be stunting your growth in terms of rank, because you will never rank up if you're not pushing into positions and taking risks. You have to take risks. This is a calculated risk, or it's a safe risk. Our teammate most likely gets a save. And guys, even if he doesn't get the save, we can't help out. So there's no point in us going back to net here, which is what a lot of players would do, and that's my whole point. Don't go back to net. Move into the spot where the ball is most likely to go to. Great touch. He recognizes he has time. Let the ball bounce. Go into an air dribble, control touch with a double jump, and we get the reset, and life's good. 2-1. Easy goal after we get that reset. The setup is really what made it, and it's great mechanics, so I'm very happy with that, okay? We cheat on this one with a flip. Now, I don't know what's getting in, what's getting into you guys, what is going on with you guys in terms of, when this happened in the last two videos now, in two replays that we've done. In one kickoff, we'll do one thing that is just clearly poor, and then in the next one, we'll just fix it. Why don't we just do it every time, right? So maybe we're just losing concentration on kickoffs. Cheating with a flip, that's what you want to do. You didn't do it on the first time or the second time we did it here. Maybe we were looking at our phone or something, I'm not sure. But yeah, good stuff on that. Keep it up. All right, this is really bad. You can't just stop. And if you just stop, you have to make sure you're doing it at a time where either the gap is close enough. So this is a massive point because you were saying that you don't know when to challenge. You can only challenge when the gap is close enough for you to pretty much instantly backflip and you have a touch on the ball without them being able to get it past you, okay? Which I know is a very vague thing, or it's a hard thing to understand in your head. But this is too far, okay? Because if we backflip in this spot, we land here, right? The ball is naturally going to go there, but we're going to be hitting the ball at the end of our flip through the challenge. We want to be hitting it with the top of our car, not the front part, after the flip is finished, okay? So with a backflip in this position, it's simply too far, all right? So we need to close the space down. How do you do that? You kind of get closer inch by inch, I say. It's like you don't just try and close the space down massively like we do here with a sudden, just killed momentum. Okay, we've just killed our momentum. Slowly do it. Don't boost. You've just boosted. We're talking, guys, this is high level stuff because it's high rank stuff, right? This boost here, it's a mistake, right? It's just a mistake. That boost there is, you use what, maybe 3 boosts? I'm not even going to look. I don't really care. It's just the fact that we boosted. You know, we use like 6 boosts. It puts us further away from the ball. And then we try and kill all of our momentum and close the space down. And now we just lay it over us, okay? And it's not the worst because players aren't always going to be able to carry this ball into a perfect air dribble every time. So it's not dangerous. But what if they could? And that's the thing that we're working towards, okay? So you don't want to challenge in this position. Simple as that. You want to make sure he jumps. But if he does jump, you want to basically match whatever he does. So in this position, to be honest, he did a great catch. You know, players that can double jump that ball into a catch, it's high level stuff. But you do want to match whatever they do. If the ball looks like it's in a double jump position, that's all it is in this position. If he wants to carry the ball on, which is the only concern, because if he flips the ball away, then our teammate is going to have it, all right? So the only thing we have to worry about is the double jump, which means we just have to wait for him to do it and double jump with him. You know, you guys might be thinking, how do you react so quick? How do you get up in time? You don't have to react at the same time, and that's the whole point. You have to hit their car. So you don't even have to hit the ball. You have to hit the car and get the player off the ball. So don't worry about trying to match their speed. You could double jump here, maybe slightly sooner, and you'll get him off the ball. You'll probably get underneath him, hit him, you know, under the side of his car, and he'll get off the ball. Okay, it'll make it easier for your teammate behind you. The issue is that we've made this hard. Luckily, the carry wasn't perfect, but even then, he got a good 50. It was a shot attempt. I like the patience, by the way, to just let this bounce off the backboard, guys. If we don't have to touch the ball, we don't have to touch the ball. It's simple as that. So that's good. But yeah, challenge only when the time is close, and when you have to make that time kind of closer, or that space closer, sorry, by getting closer inch by inch. You don't want to just boost and then suddenly break, boost a little bit, or drive a little bit, break slightly, but don't break all the way like you did, because that just opens you up for the double jump. Simple as that. As soon as that space kind of closes down, then you can backflip. If it never closes down, you do what we say, and you just match the player. You double jump when they double jump, or slightly after, as soon as you can, basically, after they do it. Never want to do it before, of course, because simply you don't want to get faked. That's the worst thing to do in a position like this. And I apologize I'm talking about it so much, but it is important, especially in this context, because the player does struggle with challenging. You don't want to get faked. So you don't want to double jump before they do, but you just have to cover that spot. You can even do it with a single jump. You just have to hit the car, all right? Get in their way. Don't worry about the ball in this position. Get the ball off the player. That's not by touching the ball. It's just by touching anything, all right? Okay. So in this spot, we... sorry, let me go back. So we get a dribble, and we try and make something happen. So in a spot like this, as soon as you realize that you've not had the best control touch, which we haven't, okay, we've got a decent touch, we've gotten the ball out, we're speeding the play up, which is good, but it's not on top of our car, it's difficult to control. As soon as we see that player there, it means we can no longer score, right? That's what it means at this high level. We can't score because we have to slow down to be able to beat this player, because we have to slow down to get the ball on top of our car, which means as soon as we slow down, this player is demoing us every time, all right? So we can no longer score by ourselves. If we have a teammate over to here, we can try and pass it to him and then score as a team, but we're not scoring by ourselves, all right? So the only thing you have in mind here from now on is we're not going to score because there is a player behind us, and to be honest, there's no angle because we're dribbling down the center of the pitch with not much boost. We have to beat this player or get it to a position where our teammate can follow up next. So here, as soon as you get that slight pop, you side flip. Instantly, you side flip. Every single time. Even if this player fake challenges, you've done a fantastic play to side flip and get the ball off your car. We're allowing you to get momentum, allowing you to get a bit of a speed up so you can get back, and most importantly, allowing you to get this ball to your teammate who is going to be naturally moving up into this spot or this spot, okay? It gets it over to that side of the pitch. Your teammate is going to be on first. You don't want to do what you did here, which, by the way, I like it. We let the ball bounce, we play it out. But you don't want to just try and take time, because that's what we did. We weren't quick enough. And guys, you don't have to react. This is the whole point of getting better at this game. I'm not quicker at reacting than you guys. I might be faster at reacting to certain positions, of course, in the game, and, understanding what I have to do. But I'm not going, okay, I've just seen him challenge in this position. I'm now side flipping. I'm just going to be side flipping in my head before this guy even challenges, even if he doesn't, okay? So that's in this position every time you side flip after you pop the slightly. You just have to get to space because you can't score. You don't have the boost. There's a teammate or, sorry, an opponent behind you pressuring. There's also this guy pressuring the dribble, which frankly, from his position, has really no angle to go other than the position or the kind of angle he challenges at. You can't really change the angle other than the spot he went into, which if you just look at that from your opponent's point of view, you'll see how easy it is. So don't focus on beating the player, just focus on getting it to space. You know, if you get it to space, you'll probably beat the player regardless, right? So just having that in mind, as soon as you know, make the dribble happen in that position, you'll be fine, all right? Again, we're moving up into the spot our teammate hits. That's a massive thing. Again, all of you guys can get from this replay. Even at, you know, lower ranks, your teammate can make touches like this off the backboard into that space. So I like it, even if we weren't onto the ball first. All right, this is a terrible touch by your teammate. This is just a free ball, you know, simple as that. You, every time, in my opinion, you take this on the bounce into the air, unless this guy has a tendency to pre-jump you and see that you're taking the ball into the air, then you might want to just take it low, okay, to fake that guy out. Sometimes you might want to take it low anyway, but I prefer taking the ball in the air here. Just creates a more threatening chance that happens very quickly. Okay, simply bad touch by your teammate. He's actually on 60 boost. I don't even know why he'd make this touch to them. If he was on low, if he was on 0 boost and you were on 0 boost in this position, there's a kind of an argument for this touch, but there's just no argument, okay? So you did fine to push up into that position, but your teammate definitely messed you up. We're just slow. We're just slow to react here. We're just covering too much to the left side of the goal, and that's all I'm going to say, because you know that, and everyone watching this knows that, and it's as simple as that, okay? If he shoots this behind you to the left side, then, you know, fair play. It's just a good shot, and it's your teammate's mistake, okay? So you just have to cover most of the goal that you can. We're not covering most of the goal that we can here, okay? So, you know, we concede. I think it is, our teammate did make a poor touch, but, yeah, we could have kind of covered more of the goal there and maybe prevented that at least a little bit more than we did. But it's tough. That was a very tough position after that touch. Okay, we're just doing nothing. So we're just kind of floating around. I like to kind of call this. We're just floating around. We're on 100 boost, but we just used 17 boost to push up, and then we've not used, you know, the rest of our boost to actually push up further and complete the action, okay? So we've just pushed up and then we got scared, all right? And then we've not committed for the pass. So we've kind of gotten caught in, you know, in no man's land here. So if you wanted to go for this ball, you go for the ball. You don't just use 17 boost, because if you want to stay back, you stay back. All right, you use no boost. So as soon as you boost, you have to commit. And if you then get close and realize, damn, really not beating this guy to the ball, I've made a misjudgment here. You then, you know, look, okay, he's passing to this guy. I close that gap down. I'm closer to the ball. That way I can make a touch on the ball. I can get it past that guy, or at least make an interception of some kinds. I might not be able to get past him exactly. I can get a block, all right? Because we're just floating around, we kind of cover the pass, but we don't really cover the pass. Because are we truly covering the pass if we're just laterally moving across the pitch? We're just moving side to side. We're not covering the pass, you know? If you want to cover passes, you have to close the gap down. We're not closing the gap down at all. Look, the gap stays the exact same here. And that's what the most important part of this whole play is. Look, the gap stays the exact same throughout. It's around, you know, you can see the gap yourself. You'll see. It closes down slightly, but are we really closing it down? That's the point, okay? So we're not actually covering the pass, even if we think we are, which is a massive thing that you'll learn from naturally. If you just go into the next play and actually try and cover the pass by closing the gap down, you will be able to do it a lot better. That doesn't take mechanics. You've already got the game sense for that. You'll be able to do it. Okay, you just have to remember that's what you have to do. If you're just closing the gap down in your head, closing it down by moving side to side across the pitch, you know, trying to, you know, kind of go the same side of the pass, you're not really actually helping the position out there. Okay, so again, a poor challenge. Yeah, so your fault or your like negative part of your style is definitely your challenges. Mechanics-wise, we're really good, in my opinion. So again, we're just not moving quick enough. I need you to react faster. We're on 100 boost. We can react. It's like we're on 100 boost. We have all the options in the world. Fantastic kickoff. Okay, our teammate gets on the ball. He pinches it. Not the ideal play. He wants to take time in this position, force a 50, or just try and force something. Pinch it. It's just giving away possession. Okay, but it happens. Right, our teammate has to go back. So our teammate has to go back. So we either do one of two things. Most of you guys watching this video, I recommend you to just basically guard the player that's going to have the ball until he gets closer to your side of the pitch. You don't want to challenge here because it's just risky, especially when your teammate is going all the way back to the corner. You want to guard that player, just stay beside him, stay on him until he crosses here, and then you can challenge because then your team will be forward facing after grabbing this boost, you know, and then we can challenge, okay? I just realized I'm not using the pen at all throughout this video. I apologize, but yeah, I need to get used to it. I need to try it. But in this position, okay, that's what I recommend for most ranks. At high rank, we can do the opposite, okay? Because our opponent isn't expecting us to challenge as our teammate is all the way back, we might be able to just send a full challenge. If we want to do that, we have to be on the wall now, all right? It's as simple as that. If we're not on the wall now, we can't really go for this ball, okay? We could go for it if we're angled slightly better. We angled our car kind of going towards the ball when the ball's traveling towards us as well. You want to be going straight up the wall in this position, upwards like that, and going in a straight up direction, and then you'll be able to intercept this ball a lot cleaner. Because we kind of go to the ball as the ball's coming to us, we're simply there too quick, all right? But that all being said, I don't want you to challenge in this position if we're not already on the wall now, okay? Which we should be, because we see this ball going to our opponent's teammate every single time in this position. Why are we not just full boost? Don't stop boosting, because we see that's the only spot he can hit this ball. If he slows down and catches it, that means he's taken time, which gives us time to then stop boosting and turn around and then pressure the ball, okay? And then decide what to do. But as soon as this happens, the ball is going in that direction. There's nothing for us to cover in this part of the pitch, any part of this pitch, other than this area, okay? So we just move into that area as fast as we can. We never stop boosting this position. And again, it sounds dramatic. I know, he just stopped boosting for what? Half a second? But that's the, you know, those are the, I mean, we didn't boost here. So we should just be instantly going up the wall, go up the wall, go up the wall. As soon as we see a pass that might be going there. Because anything else that doesn't go there means they've taken time, which gives us time to then react to our last play and kind of change it. Okay, so that's the whole point. If they take time, it means we have more time. If they don't, then we're already there. All right. Nice. He moves up into the position for the pass. The pass doesn't come across. That's completely fine. Look, boosting into the position. Good. Good. Take time. Don't jump. Don't jump. That's fine. Let the ball bounce off the wall, though. Okay. Great. This is such a nice position to have. You should be wanting this position every time, because the play you did to score the goal with the reset, you can do here. Okay. You let the ball bounce off the wall. You take it into an air dribble with a double jump. All right. Every single time here. It's the only play you go for. At least I want you to go for it. You know, you can improvise and kind of do other plays as well, but I think this is the best play. Let the ball bounce off the wall. Don't drive up the wall. You have all the time. You know you have the time. Because any touch that we make there is just simply putting it closer to them. All right. Nice. We don't just go for the back left boost because we already are on 100. We don't need that. A lot of players would go for that in that position. Okay. So okay, so we're just going towards the ball too much. So when with mechanics and with control, when the ball is kind of coming towards us across the pitch a little bit, you want to move. You don't want to move into the ball. You want to like let it come to you a little bit. We're moving into the ball too much here, which makes this control touch a lot harder. As soon as we make the touch, our car is just simply traveling in the direction it's already traveling. Okay, so we want to make that. We want to use that knowledge kind of to our advantage. We don't want to move into the ball in this position. Great, but we want to be angled slightly more to the right before we jump. Okay, so we're kind of going to the right already because we're a bit kind of, we have too much momentum going to the left side. That's all it is in this position. We do well to recover from it, but we use 100 boost and we just get a dunk. So that play could definitely improve just from basically taking more time almost on the touch. Don't just full boost towards it, even after you've jumped. Let go of boost, let the ball touch your car first, if that makes sense. You'll get a more kind of controlled touch. No, take time every time. So just single jump off the ball, follow the ball. All right, you can do that. You've got really good mechanics. Don't just clear the ball. So yeah, when you have balls on the wall, you can definitely do a better job than you are doing of understanding when to take time. your pad pathing so far has actually been, not bad. Not bad at all. We could go slightly wider here, but then we want to, we want to get on the ball instantly. Maybe if we were slightly wider, we'd have a better job being in the play here. We're speeding up too much here. That's a massive mistake. So, yeah, pathing mistake, in my opinion here, is just a small one. We want to go through the midfield like this, collecting at least these 2 pads, at least this one. Maybe this one if we can get it, and maybe even this one if we're lucky. But instead, we just go underneath our teammate, and we also go way too quickly, okay? So now, what we're going to do, we're going to have to back off, all right? And it doesn't mean our spot is bad. This is fine. We've tracked the play well. We've got possession here. It's clearly ended up in a decent result. But I just think that's something that you need to keep in mind, because it won't always happen like that, all right? I don't mind this play. We hand the ball to our opponent here, but most of the time, or some of the time, they're going to be challenging here. And players who are challenging off the ceiling, they dive very low. They dive very low most of the time coming off the ceiling, especially when we're fairly low. We're not, absolutely perfectly high here where he can just completely go off the ceiling and don't worry about going low and he'll have the challenge. He has to get a little bit of downward momentum on his challenge here. And then we use this musty to get over them as they're going down. That is something that can happen a lot of the time. So I don't mind just going for this play. A lot of the time it will work. Notice, by the way, guys, that this player doesn't flip, okay? He has his flip available to him. He could just, slam this ball with a flip. That'd be giving it away. So sometimes it's better to touch the ball away from you, but still not as far away as you can, okay? I know it's a simple point, but a lot of people won't do it in this position. He also uses flip, or kind of saves it to make sure he gets a speed boost along the floor with a wave dash, okay? It's just a high-level thing, a lot of you can kind of incorporate in your game after maybe champ, once you start learning kind of ceiling challenges a little bit, or slightly higher than that maybe. After saying that, I'm going to get a load of plats telling me they can ceiling challenge perfectly now in the comments. I promise you that you can't. Sorry. That's a good play. All right. So let's go back, see what happens. Okay. Most of the time, you just want to try and take a 50 with this guy. I know it sounds stupid because it's like, okay, are we just going to be own goaling if we try and take a 50? But truth be told, this guy should have a goal. All right, he should just be scoring that. So if we don't try and take the 50, we've already conceded 99% of the time. This ball didn't go in out of a massive mistake from our opponent. So we should just be trying to 50 that guy in that position, and we would have had a touch to the corner. It would have been easier. We try and play this ball out. Okay, this is fine to do, playing the ball out quickly because our opponent is behind me trying to get a demo. We just land and we just go towards the side of the ball. I mean, we're not going to speak about a ton because you know that, but we just have to get behind the ball and get a touch, another touch, because now it just allows this guy to get a play on the ball, okay? So, yeah, just a small mistake there, trying to get the 50 instead of kind of circling wide around the ball like we did, which I don't think you meant to, but just pointing it out. Okay, we have to get this boost. So as soon as this happens, as soon as we know we're not going to get a touch on the ball, we just go for the boost. Go for the boost. Okay, you can turn ball come off slightly. Just go turn ball come off for a second, get the boost, make sure you drive through it. We've missed about 4 this game that we really shouldn't be missing. I wouldn't even count this as a miss. You actually didn't look like you were trying to drive through it. But that's just a mistake then, okay? We do get the save, but I assume this is going to be a goal because of it. Yeah. Because we don't have momentum, we just can't get a good save, right? It allows us to get blocked super easily. If we had boost, I know a ton of people, they think you won't be able to get back. I promise you, you will get back. You do that and you go off the backboard, you'll get back. Because you have the extra boost, you get the extra speed, right? And you'll have the extra speed to get more momentum and then get a better 50. It'll just result in a better play, okay? So as soon as off the kickoff, so I know this isn't a very common situation, but my point is that you can implement in your game right now. As soon as off kickoff, if you guys aren't getting the next touch in the next 1 second and you're close enough to the boost pad, or you're going to go through it in your next, kind of rotation path, just go for it now. Just go for it instantly. Turn ball, come off, get the boost, and we're good. All right. Because we don't, we're going to concede. All right. My game has frozen, I guess. Or did we forfeit? We forfeited. All right. That's fine. I was confused then. Okay. Oh. lots to talk about, lots to be covered, in my opinion. Anyway, I hope you guys got info about. So, just to kind of reiterate a couple of the points. You said, you struggled with challenges. Let's go back to the start of the video. Or start of the replay, sorry. You said you struggle with challenges. I think that's definitely... Yeah, I think it's definitely a thing that you do struggle with. So, positions like this, we want to rotate wide into the play, right? And that's going to be a fairly consistent factor throughout a lot of your things. So, for example, the wall challenge... not sure when it was. There was a time you went off the wall. And you should have been there sooner. And you just kind of cut off the wall. I think it was before this. Yeah, here. Okay. So, again, going wide through a lot of your challenges, it's going to result you in way better challenges instantly. So we talked about here. And again, so the two main things, cutting myself off a lot, but a lot's coming to mind. I do apologize. But the two main things that you will benefit from in your challenges is one, get into the place sooner. And I know this sounds stupid, but I'll reiterate and go into it deeper. Get into the position sooner, okay, and go in at a wide angle. And the reason I'm keeping it so simple, even if we're close to SSL, the highest rank in the game, is because Rocket League, it's a deep game, but you can simplify things and you will work on it and you will see improvements from just those 2 points, I promise you. If you have those in mind, and if you truly practice them and look, okay, I'm still making a mistake there, but I've not made a mistake there, so I'm improving. Let's stop making the mistake in that first part. If you actually apply it with genuine kind of thought, you will get better at it just from those 2 points, taking wider angles and get into the place sooner. The reason I say get into the position sooner, simply where we need to challenge, for example, is on the pass. For stuff like this, we know where this ball is going. Okay, we just have to drive there sooner, get there sooner, take a wide angle. Okay, so we would go through the position like this. All right, we won't just drive kind of straight up the wall. We'd go at a wider angle. That allows us to take a little bit of a better approach. It gives us a better eye on what's happening, in the play. All right. Gives us more momentum. It's going to lead to a better challenge most of the time. All right. Again, it's the same thing as the pass. Not sure when it was. We'll see if we can find it real quick. If you guys can excuse the fast pace, but the pass, right? We just kind of cut the pass off. We didn't. Oh, it was a goal. I apologize. I don't know why I'm not remembering that. It was this goal. Yeah. Okay. So. Again, we're just not getting to the place sooner. As soon as you see this pass is going there, just close that gap down. Don't just drive across the pitch, right? What I would be doing here is almost taking ball cam off for a second, truly seeing where this player is. Because where the player is, that's all we have to worry about. You're worried about, maybe the pass going a little bit more forward like this, and that's why we're covering this position. But that doesn't matter if the player's not going to be there for it. Okay, so just check where the player is. Keep an eye on them throughout the whole thing. That's what I do. I turn ball cam off. As soon as a pass is about to come across, I turn ball cam off because I don't care about hitting the ball. I care about hitting the line where my opponent is most likely going to shoot this ball off the pass because that's what I'm trying to block. All right, so just a couple of things there. Taking a wider approach through this one obviously won't work. You want to get there instantly because the pass is going to come across very quickly, which means the shot is coming across very quickly. So yeah, that's obviously a separate point. But get into the place sooner to intercept and challenge, and taking a wider approach. Those are the two general points that is going to really benefit you a lot through most of your challenges. Now, you also spoke about how you thought you had a negative of pathing, with boost pads. Okay. I don't know if you do. I think it's decent. From this replay, which is 1 5-minute replay, 5-minute gameplay, it's not going to be perfect. But I don't think you necessarily have terrible pathing, okay? We are picking up pads. We pick up a pad, here. I know it's little stuff, but we do it, and we do it fairly consistently. I wouldn't stress about that part of your game too much, all right? You mentioned that another thing you mentioned was your positioning. Again, I think your positioning tends to come from your challenging. I think those two things are very, very closely linked. I think the things we've already spoken about is going to aid you in your positioning in terms of taking the wider angles. That will give you better positioning. So those two are very, very closely linked. I want you to even think of them as the same thing. If you improve one thing of your positioning or your challenges, the other will improve. And a lot of people don't think of it like that. And maybe I'm wrong, but that's exactly how I've thought those two things. They're the same thing. They're very closely linked, at least. Focus on one, you'll improve the both, okay? You said your good points were mechanics. I completely agree. A couple pointers. When we're on the wall, you do need to take a little bit more time on, balls like, I'm not going to find it, but balls like, this was fantastic. There was another ball where 2 players were behind you and you kind of sped it up, or they were coming across at the same kind of angle. We spoke about it before. You just boomed it away down this line of the pitch. So yeah, take a little bit more time on those, but that's obviously a little bit obvious. And you did mention that really quickly. You did say you feel like you take the time on the ball when necessary. I do agree for the most part. I know I pointed out a couple of those things off the ball, but on the ground we do take time. I think we're good in that regard. But yeah, a couple of the main things we want you to focus on, is the challenging points that I kind of mentioned. And another thing, I want you to be a little bit more kind of aggressive and a little bit more quick. Okay, so obviously take time on the wall when we have the space like we've spoken about, but in positions like this, I need you to be a little bit more, making a decision a bit faster. Okay, I think that's going to be a massive thing for you to work on, because, or not even work on, just focus on, because you've got the mechanics, you've got the speed naturally to be able to do stuff like that. So just focus on making decisions a little bit quicker. Okay, in positions like this, just making that decision to flick early, you have to make it quicker. Positions like the challenge on the ball, making sure you make the decision to go for that ball, closing the space down in both the wall challenge and the mid pass challenge very, very quickly. Those kind of things and those situations are going to massively help you. Okay, right. I think we're going to leave it there for this replay, guys. If you do have any questions about this replay specifically, please do leave them in the comments. I'm more than happy to have a kind of look through and answer anything that I see needs an answer. If you have any questions about anything else, again, leave it in the comments. And Sam, watching this replay, I hope that was of help to you. If it wasn't, or if you need anything clarifying, please again do reach out to me either in the comments or personally through the Discord. Everyone else, do join the Discord. We're talking in it every day, about these replays, about other things, having a good time in there. And yeah, follow the socials in the description. But that's going to be it for this video. I hope you did enjoy. Apologies for not using the pen too much, but I'll get it sorted in the next one. And yeah, take care.